controversial because not every person is open to the truth. And that's another thing. When I start to talk about truth, people get offensive. And they're like, what do you mean by that? And uh, anybody that's not willing to take responsibility for their life doesn't want to hear the truth. Okay? We can end the episode and we can be done for the day. Any person that does not want to take responsibility for their life doesn't want to hear the truth. And so there are people that have come to me over the years and they said, Jamel, I greatly respect you and your life and the work that you do. Will you mentor me? Will you help me? And I said, of course I will. And I lay down a few ground rules and I watched their disposition and their countenance and the facial expression, and I realized this is not going to work. And about a week or so later, that's the demise of that mentorship or protege mentor relationship, and it goes away because I realized that everybody doesn't want the truth. Some people show up in your life for different reasons. Some people show up in your life for different motives. They come with different intentions and they don't really come to grow. And if you don't have strong discernment and perceptivity, you will create space in your life for something that has been sent to destroy your life. And you got to know where to place people, and you got to know that some people don't belong in your world at all. It's not that they're a bad person. It's not that they're an evil person, but you're just not traveling in the same relational constellation. And if you try to keep that relationship in place, it's going to bring great pain and great despair to your life. But I don't have time to stay there. While I am all for uncomfortable conversations, what I've discovered is that some people are only interested in proving their point. They have no interest in the truth. So I know we've all met people like that. They don't really want to hear the truth. They want to get their point across. They want to be heard. They want to be seen. They want to cause a scene, whatever it is. But not every person is interested in the truth. And not every person wants to grow. And I think that this is such a challenge for so many people because um, rejection is never easy. And I don't have time to go into rejection today, but I've written extensively about rejection. So get some of my books because I talk about it in depth. But rejection never feels good. And so some people have been rejected so much in their lives that they just try to accept everybody into their world, and it just doesn't work. And you have to have the discernment enough and the maturity enough to know that if I try to bring this into my space, it's going to create conflict, it's going to create crises, and it's going to blow up my life in the wrong way. It's going to cause your life to self implode and self destruct. And the problem with denial is that it often becomes the doorway to deception. And so, people that don't want to hear the truth, people that don't want to take responsibility for their lives, people that want to blame others for their circumstances and situations, they like living in denial. And denial opens the doorway to deception. And so, one of the non negotiable agreements I made with myself many years ago is that I would not live my life in denial, even if it's a hard truth, even if it's something I don't want to stomach in that moment. I'm going to have to be mature enough to own up to this so that this doesn't become a stumbling block to my progress and my advancement. Furthermore, avoidance is a threat. To the advancement of your life. And so, one thing you cannot afford to do is to live your life in avoidance. So many people are stuck, they are paralyzed, they are constricted with their lives because they are living in a constant state of avoidance and they're never addressing the things that they need to address to move their lives forward. Um, I mean, I will not tell you for a minute that the truth is always easy to digest. I just told you, not every truth is easy to digest or to stomach in that particular moment. But there's one thing that I know for sure, and that is that the truth may rub you the wrong way, but in the long run, it is refining me and empowering me to become a better version of myself. So I may not like it, it may not feel good, it may rub me the wrong way, I may walk away with an attitude. I may have to go process that for a while because everything is not digestible in that moment. But what I can tell you from lived experience is no matter how bad it felt, no matter how uncomfortable it was, when you really come face to face with the truth in your life, it has refined me and empowered me to become a better version of myself. In my experience, I have found that it is the avoidance of truth that ultimately shipwrecks and destroys our lives. And we're going to go there again. There are a lot of people in the world that have a lot of yes people around them. And as you go up the ladder of success, I hate saying that. I really like to say as you go up the realms of success, you discover that many of the people that you admire and you so greatly respect from a distance, you realize that they have some issues. And you realize that many of them surround themselves with a bunch of yes people. They do not stack their lives with people that will tell them no. They do not stack their lives with people that will not tell them the truth. And one thing you'll learn about me real quickly, I don't want people around me that are just going to say yes, and I don't want people around me that are dishonest because I can't trust you. And if relationships move at the speed of trust, and trust is the currency of relationships, distrust then becomes the currency of the destruction and the devaluation of a relationship. I know I just said a mouthful, so just go back and listen to this again because I'm trying to move the conversation along and not get stuck in every point. But I'm such a teacher that every concept builds on a concept, and I could talk about every concept for hours. But you have to get honest people in your life. You need people in your life you can trust. You need people in your life that are going to tell you the truth. You need people in your life that are going to get right in your face and confront you about the things that need to be confronted in your life. And like I said, as much as I may not like it, as much as I may protest it, at the end of the day, I appreciate it because it makes me better. It holds me accountable and it challenges me to be a person of integrity so that I'm not saying one thing publicly and living a lie privately because my life is out of congruency. So most people are at war with the truth because they have convinced themselves that they can beat the truth. Most people are at war with the truth because they have convinced themselves that they can beat the truth. And that is one of the greatest lies and deceptions that we could ever be told. You can try all day long. You can put on your greatest armor. You can go to the greatest war rooms and get strategies and all of that. But there is no way that, regardless of how skilled you become, that you are any match for the truth. What I can tell you from lived experience is this: you cannot outrun the truth, you cannot censor the truth, and no force on this planet is powerful enough to kill the truth. We can drop the mic and be done. I always tell people this: the truth is unmatched. It doesn't matter how eloquent we speak, and I can move through the serendipity of the English language with oratorical finesse. I know the power of words, I know how to put words together, but at the end of the day, the truth is the truth, the lie is a lie, and no amount of finessing an issue is going to change the truth. And I think when we really understand that concept, it humbles you and it brings you to a place of accountability for your life. Even if you attempt to ignore it, silence it, or suppress it, truth will still call you out, convict you, and trouble your conscience. So I listen to people all the time. They ask me for advice or wisdom on a particular issue. I give it to them. I can tell they're not receiving it. They walk away. And some of them are mature enough to come back later and say, you know what, you were right. I wasn't ready to hear it. I didn't really want to hear it at that time, but you were correct. But the truth, you can't suppress it. You can't. Uh, you cannot put it to death. It will continue to call out to you and convict you and trouble your conscience because that's what truth is intended to do. I found out that truth is powerful enough to defend itself and to defeat any lie. So, what we have to work on doing is living lives of integrity, living lives of authenticity. Because when you live a life of authenticity, you can outlive any lie, any false statement, any false accusation that is made against you because you have the character to stand up under the pressure. And